People forget to do one simple thing after working on the BMW that can cause the engine to overheat, and that can cost thousands of dollars in repairs or engine replacements. Stay with us, we'll explain what it is. Hey guys, welcome back to Auto Repair guys. Today will be super helpful video if you have a BMW. We're talking about X3 or X4, any generation. If you have a problem with overheating, there is one thing that you should always try. Now, we're talking about, guys, something that should always be done if thermostat was replaced, water pump, radiator hose, anything like that. If your coolant level was low, you still need to apply that procedure. We'll explain what it is. That might save your engine, because if you overheat the engine, you may need the engine replaced or rebuilt. Stay with us, we'll explain what it is. So before we start, let us guys tell you a little bit about us. Every single car we get here at the garage, we try to make at least 200 to 300 free repair videos. We show you guys how to fix multiple things. We fix engines, we fix guys transmissions, we fix bodywork. We show you how to fix engine codes, fuses, relays. We take them completely apart. We make at least 200 videos on every car. Why we do that? Because our mission here at the garage is to save you guys as much money as we can by providing that information. All we need in return, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, that way we can keep making these free videos. Check out our YouTube channels. We guys have more than 17,000 free repair videos that can save you thousands of dollars in future repairs. And if you need to buy parts, tools, to fix your cars, we're going to share the information in the description of the video below. Let's start on it now. So, guys, now, on BMW X3 X4, if you have overheating engine, you will need to, guys, activate the self-bleeding procedure on your BMW. That thing will need to be performed, okay, because you may end up having an air pocket inside the engine, in the cylinder head, that can prevent, guys, the engine coolant to flow freely. As a result, it can be blocked, you may have an air pocket there, and that can prevent the engine to cool correctly. That can cause overheating. So we need to activate the self-bleeding procedure. You need to bleed your cooling system, make sure you do that, and that may be able to fix your problem quite often, guys. So guys, what we're going to do, the first thing, you're gonna do that only when the car is extremely cold. Let it sit overnight, make sure the coolant is, cold, because if you open the coolant reservoir, you can severely burn yourself. So you're going to go ahead and unscrew the coolant cap. Faulty coolant cap can cause overheating as well, guys, so we recommend to replace those as well once in a while, because they have a built-in valve that if not working correctly, that can cause overheating. And we'll start filling it up until we reach the maximum point inside. So that's what we're working on now, okay? We'll just keep adding coolant here, guys. Okay, and we'll continue. So I'll show in a little bit where you can see the minimum and the maximum. Okay, on the inside, I'll grab the camera. Let me just reach that here, guys. Okay, let me grab the funnel so I don't make a mess. If I grab the camera here, okay, check this thing out. Okay, I'm making a mess here. Inside, okay, on the bottom, on the lower part, it says minimum. On the other one, it says maximum. We're going to get it to the maximum. You may have the one that's sticking up, depending on which design you have, guys. But now we're going to go ahead, add more. It's going to take quite a bit, because we did actually, okay, coolant flush, radiator replacement. Okay, it still needs more, that's crazy. Okay, it's getting close to the full. Okay, perfect, right above the full. That radiator, okay, overflow tank is full now. Okay, check it out. We're going to go ahead, guys, okay, and it's still taking a little bit. So I'm going to get the other watch, it's still getting in the engine. So I'll get one more gallon, okay. We'll get the other gallon now, and we're going to add more, because it needs to be, okay, a little bit more on top. Okay, so let's go ahead, do that, because more went in the engine now. Now, if you have a BMW that's overheating and you're doing that bleeding procedure, you may not need to add so much coolant. Okay, it's still taking, guys, quite a bit. This one had a leaking radiator. Okay, so far Okay, I can hear the coolant going through the radiator. It's still taking some here. Make sure we're not leaking anywhere because I can hear the bubbles. So always make sure if you worked on it, you don't have a loose hose or something too. From what I see, we don't. Okay, it's still taking more and more and more. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, fill it up, and we'll continue. Next, we're going to close, okay, the system right here. You gotta make sure it's closed all the way. Some models, guys, okay, depending on the year model, okay, F25, F26 don't, but you may have a bleeding screw that you need to unscrew, guys, okay, for the bubbles to come out. Specifically, we don't. What do we need to do next? We're going to go inside that BMW. You gotta make sure that we have the keys, guys, okay? And with the keys in place, okay, we're going to go ahead, okay, and I'm going to make sure that I'm clean. It breaks my heart getting in the car so dirty. So now close your door, everything needs to be closed. And here we're going to not press the brake pedal. Next, we're going to press that button until the lights come on, but we have to make sure that we don't start the car. Next, set the temperature to the highest position. I'm going to do sync, highest position on the highest setting here, and we're going to set the fan to the lowest setting, like that. After that, press the gas pedal for about 10 seconds and you will hear the water coolant pump activating. Listen for that now. Still waiting? Okay, I just heard it. Now, the pump is running, guys. I'm gonna get the window there. And it will stop. It will run, it will stop, it will go on low, on high speed. It's right here underneath, so listen now. It stopped right now when I got out, but it's going to restart again. That's what's happening now. Listen. It should be any minute. Okay. That's what we're working on now. And what it does, it's going to stop and go, change the speed so it can self-bleed itself and get, okay, all the bubbles out of the system. Now, if you turn the ignition switch off, okay, that will stop the pump too. So you gotta make sure that your ignition switch is still on. Let me make sure that I didn't accidentally turn it off because, okay, by now I think it should have stayed on. Okay, and looks like, okay, the ignition switch is still on, so we're waiting for the pump, okay, and see if we will need to actually go ahead, okay, and restart the procedure. So let's listen now, because sometimes it will start, it will stop for about a minute, then it will go again. The whole procedure takes about 10 to 12 minutes, guys. So I'll just give it a little bit of time and we'll see, okay, what happens. So you gotta make sure, guys, you have the ignition switch on, okay? Ignition switch should stay on, ours turned off. So now, temperature on high, fan on low, we're pressing the gas pedal and it should activate again. Listen now, it should be any minute. We need to make sure. Okay, so I did it with an open door. Sometimes that will affect it too. Listen about the pump. The pump's going, it will slow down. You can hear the air bubbles coming here through the hose. Okay, it's going to circulate now, on and off, multiple times at different speeds. Okay, listen now. It's activating on higher speed now. I hope you can hear that on the camera. And the bubbles that were in the system, that's why we need to self-bleed that system, are going through here. If you have a bleeding screw, you need to follow the procedure about a bleeding screw. We have a video about that, demonstrating how to do it on BMW E90. E90 has the bleeding screw, and E83 X3, we have a video how to do it as well. It will teach you guys step by step how to do that. But, okay, listen now. Okay, it's working on it now. So that procedure, okay, self-bleeding procedure will take about 10 to 12 minutes. But when it's finished, it doesn't mean you're ready. You still need to do other things, and we'll explain what, so make sure you stay until the end. We're going to let it run through that cycle until the pump turns off for at least 1 minute. That means that it's done. So the procedure, guys, okay, is done. It turned off. So now we're going to go ahead, open, and I want to inspect how much we went down. We were a little bit over the max. Now, guys, okay, here, watch, we're a little bit below the minimum. So what we're going to do, we're going to get to the max again, okay? We need to add more coolant to make sure that we get to the max. Okay, perfect. Now, we'll recommend, guys, to run that procedure 2 times at least, until we don't hear any bubbles coming from that hose, because it could be bad. We'll recommend to run that procedure 2 times, just for peace of mind. Sometimes I've done it even 3, if the engine was giving me a lot of troubles, just to make sure that this is covered and I don't have to do that anymore. But always, guys, okay, do that, and make sure between the first and the second round you check the coolant level, you add more, because if you end up having empty tank, it can suck air back in the system. So, guys, okay, if you had a problem where BMW was overheating, that's the first thing you want to try, right? You want first, of course, you want to test thermostats, water pump, everything is working correctly, guys. Make sure radiator is not clogged up. But if you cover that and it's still overheating, always try that procedure, because that can save your engine, guys. If you have any questions, you want to see anything else specifically, don't hesitate to let us know. Hopefully the video will be helpful, and see you next time.